We begin with a warning that refuses to go away. President Donald Trump is once again talking about Mexico. He's threatened action before, but this time the tone is sharper. After a military operation in Venezuela, Trump is now reviving his threat against Mexican drug cartels. In an interview with Fox News, he said, "We are going to start now hitting land. With regard to the cartels are running Mexico." Well, Trump claims the US has already stopped drug trafficking by boat. He claims that 97% of drugs coming by water have been intercepted. That brings us to his next target, land. He says Mexico has lost control and that criminal groups have become too powerful and that watching this happen is very sad. But hitting cartels on land would mean US military action inside Mexico, and that would be a major escalation, one that Washington has discussed before. Trump's recent remarks come days after US military intervention in Venezuela and the capture of its leader, Nicolas Maduro. Well, that operation has sent shockwaves across Latin America, with many countries now fearing a return to open US interventionism, the kind the region knows all too well. Trump himself has named a few countries also in his sights, like Cuba, Colombia and Iran, and Mexico is no stranger to that list.
And by the way, you have to do something with Mexico. Mexico has to get their act together because they're pouring through Mexico, and we're going to have to do something. We'd love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it, but unfortunately the cartels are very strong in Mexico.
Well, after the Venezuela operation, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum made her position clear, saying that the Americas do not belong to any one power.
Mexico's position against any form of intervention is firm, clear, and historic. Following recent events in Venezuela, where the United States government carried out a direct intervention that resulted in the capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, as well as the loss of human lives, Mexico reaffirms a principle that is not new and admits no ambiguities. We categorically reject intervention in the internal affairs of other countries.
For Mexico, this is a red line, but there has been cooperation with the US. Sheinbaum's administration has become more aggressive towards drug cartels than her predecessor. There have been more arrests, drug seizures and extraditions. And Mexico has agreed to receive more deportees from other countries. Former ambassadors and experts say this kind of cooperation should serve to discourage any US military action. Sheinbaum is also a popular, legitimately elected president. Mexico is America's largest trading partner, and 40 million people of Mexican origin live in the United States. Yet Trump and his team have flirted with the idea of attacking cartels in Mexico on many occasions. The language changes, but the pressure remains. Sheinbaum says the proposal of US military intervention keeps coming up in her conversations with Trump.
These are ways of speaking of President Trump. I don't believe in invasion. I don't even think it's something they're taking very seriously. But we express it at every. He said it several times in the calls we've had. There have been almost 14 calls. If I remember correctly, he has insisted on several occasions that the United States military be able to enter Mexico, and we have said no very firmly. First, because we defend our sovereignty, and second, because it is not necessary.
Analysts believe these threats are part of Trump's negotiation style, especially when the US-Mexico-Canada trade deal is still up for revision. So, this is not a new fight, it's an old one, resurfacing with more urgency. And after Venezuela, the question is unavoidable. Is this just leverage, or is it a warning of what could come next? We'll be watching closely. The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Cary Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.